Everybody, it's me, the God of Wrestling, episode 42 of Wrestling Guide TV. Tonight would not be a flashback review. I'm doing something in its place to talk about my favorite personal Raw moments in the history of Monday Night Raw. I'm doing this video because last year we had Raw 1000. Um, then we've had DVDs coming out at least in the past year about Raw. So I thought with doing this, start off with the original DX formation. Um, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Rick Rude, and China. The good part about this is Shawn Michaels was gone. He was injured. His own injury off the smile thing. Came back. First night he's back. He faced Mankind in a match. He said he told everybody early in the night he had protection. The protection ended up being ravishing Rick Rude and Triple H and China. And it was a good thing because, everybody knew Shawn Michaels and Triple H were friends because the whole Kurt Call thing with him, Triple H, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. It was a very good thing for the Attitude Era. I think, started it personally. Um, then we'll go a little bit later, night after WrestleMania 14. It was 14. It's 14. Um, Shawn Michaels was gone. His back injury was too bad. He was leaving the company. Triple H comes out since he is the leader of DX and the new generation of the Generation X will start. And it's X-Pac, who was just recently fired from WCW. Everybody knows the friendship between Triple H and X-Pac. Later that night, we find out New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg would join, which I really liked because I know New Age Outlaws was such a good team, but they needed something else to add. And the Triple H and X-Pac just really good. And the thing was, they were so good that they got cheered. Next moment, I want to talk Vince McMahon the night after the Montreal Screwjob would come on TV and explain the world that the referee didn't screw Brett. Shawn Michaels certainly did not screw Brett. Vince did not screw Brett. Bret Hart screwed Brett. And the reason why I agree with Vince on this is Bret Hart was leaving. Everybody knew he was gone. You couldn't take a chance of Bret. It was his title. It was the WWF title. You're not going to let someone walk out with that and go to your rival competition. Some Bret Hart fans said Vince was wrong for doing it. Bret Hart was selfish for not wanting it done. Sorry, Bret was selfish in that. Vince had to make a business call. Okay, I really don't care who agrees with it or not, but it's true. Next, Brock Lesnar's return in the night after WrestleMania 28. This is so big because no one ever thought we'd ever see Brock Lesnar back in WWE. For years, he said he would never come back. He is back on WWE in a couple of cases. He was in UFC, and I tell you, I don't think any guy got the biggest pop as Brock got when he had 5 John Cena. The crowd exploded. It was a feel good moment to have Brock Lesnar there. Um, Next, Rock and Cena. Right after WrestleMania 27, they were set up for WrestleMania 28's main event. I know a lot of people do not like either Rock or John Cena, but this moment was big for wrestling because it was the first time where you had the main event of WrestleMania, already set a year in advance, and it was a dream match. It was going to be The Rock's first WrestleMania as wrestling in 7 years. And everybody wanted him to face Cena. Love Cena or hate him, you wanted that match to happen. The match wasn't really good, but the promos were. They got two good talkers, two great trash talkers, and it was good. Next, the Nexus debut. This was the day after D-Day. We had the Nexus. I don't know the exact people. Wade Barrett, Daniel Bryan, Skip Sheffield, also was Ryback, Darren Young, Michael Tarver. I can't remember the rest. Honestly, Justin Gabriel. That's all I can remember. But basically destroying the set, destroying John Cena. um, destroying everything. The funny thing about this thing was, Daniel Bryan, when he was kicking John Cena, got in his face, spit in his face, and says, "You are not better than me." That I marked out for that right there. The Edge and Lita live sex celebration. It was so good. Not really the sex celebration part of it, but Ric Flair came out and Cena came out. It was perfected so well. Lita, who took the FU, Lita, no one's taken the bumps that Lita has in her career. No diva, I don't think ever do what Lita's done. She's taken some nasty, nasty bumps. Also Stone Cold when he stunned Vince for the first time in Madison Square Garden. This is a make or break moment for Stone Cold because if Stone Cold would have messed up on the stunner, they would have ruined it. It would have ruined him. Vince, that was one of the worst stunners ever. It was Vince when he stole it was so funny. Um, Also, another moment, Stone Cold when he drove his Zamboni in when he got screwed by Vince when Taker and Kane both pinned Austin. It was a screw job. Also, another favorite of mine, Cactus Jack debuts in Madison Square Garden. It was such a great moment because New York loves ECW. There's a lot of ECW fans in New York, so Cactus Jack was known for ECW. WWE, he was never Cactus Jack. When he debuted, the place erupted for him. Probably his biggest pop he ever got. A really good moment. Next, we have The Rock challenges Hogan to a match for WrestleMania 18. Looking back on it, you have to appreciate it. Hogan had been there for such a long period of time. Um, I know everybody wanted Austin and Hogan, and I do agree with you. I did want that, but Rock and Hogan did not disappoint. It was the only reason I think that you bought WrestleMania 18. It was a great match. The crowd he in the match was good, and even at night the crowd he was great for Hogan and Rock. The first ever Raw, which if you look at the card, was not good at all. It was very bad. Um, but it was the first ever Raw. Highlight of the show to me was Bobby Heenan. He was fucking hilarious. Anyway, travel 1,000 episodes later, Raw 1,000. A very good, probably the best anniversary show Monday Night Raw's ever done. It all the Legends of Pete Slater thing going. The DX thing, which was very good, and Damien Sandow in there, which I liked very much. We had the whole segment Punk, Bryan, and Rock, which I really enjoyed. I thought was actually my favorite part of the show. So it was good. Also, the night the Alliance formed, this whole show was good. You start of the show, you had Kane and Chris Jericho. I can't remember. I think it was Lance Storm and Mike Austin that originally were facing. When RVD and Dreamer made the debut that night and attacked Kane, Jericho, and a bunch of WWE guys will come in. But as they're coming out, you get to realize they're ECW originals. And they all turn later that night. You find out that Stephanie has bought ECW. Shane already has WCW. They form. The alliance is born. Another moment, Bret Hart returns. He buries a hatchet with Shawn Michaels. And so a lot of wrestling fans, it was a very good moment for us. So long when Bret Hart to bury the hatchet. Put the bitterness aside. Let it go. 12 years is a long time to hold that grudge. And, it was just a good moment. And there was a match. Undertaker, Jeff Hardy, undisputed title in a ladder match. Undertaker was a very good heel at the time. Jeff Hardy was young, was during his first run in the business. It, I don't know if I thought Jeff Hardy could win, but the way Jim Ross sold that match made you believe half of it. Maybe Jeff Hardy's going to win the match. Also, another match I want to talk about. I think it was 2007. I might be wrong on that. It was billed as the Hour in England, John Cena for Shawn Michaels. The best probably I would say the best John Cena match. Shawn Michaels always brings out the best in everybody. Michaels would win that. Great match. Then we would see another Stone Cold beer truck. The part I love about this, he was in the beer in the ring, and Vince McMahon was swimming in the beer. That made me laugh. Also, we see a parody of the beer truck. Kurt Angle's Milk Truck from the Alliance. Classic Kurt's. Classic. Um, the best underdog match probably of all time. 1-2-3 Kid beats Razor Ramon. Um, epic. It was just kind of nuts for 1-2-3 Kid. Shenanigans X Pac. Another underdog one. Mick Foley beats The Rock to win his very first title. This would be the night where everything changed in the Attitude Era and Monday Night Wars. And it was great. It was to me personally, because I'm a big Mick Foley mark. I've always thought he's one of the best, not in the ring, but entertaining wise, he is one of the best of all time. Another one, probably the biggest shocker, one of the biggest shockers for wrestling history. Eric Bischoff becomes the Raw GM, and for wrestling fans who grew up in the 80s and 90s, knowing what Eric Bischoff did, stealing all the talent, you get a Raw GM, you're like, what the fuck? Another thing, Vince Lima blows up. The story, I always wanted to know what would happen, but the storyline got ended because Chris Benoit's death. Um, we never know what could have happened. Next, you see Brian Pillman when he pulled a gun out on Stone Cold. I love that. I love Brian Pillman, one of the most underrated guys in business in that history. I always thought if he lived longer, he could have been a world champion. Kane takes his mask off. I think that's one of the highest rated segments of that time. It was very cool. Had him turn heel. We showed some RVD. Had a good gimmick afterwards. Got kind of stale, a year later. But next thing was an emotional Shawn Michaels farewell speech, and that after retired to WrestleMania 26. It was a very heartfelt thing with Shawn Michaels. The first rock concert The Rock did was targeted in Sacramento against Stone Cold. The other ones were good, but they were, eh, you didn't care. Next one, John Cena dropped to Raw was a big moment in wrestling. I love John Cena, I hate him. I'm not really a fan of John, but it was a good moment for wrestling. And the last Raw moment I want to talk about is the shoot promo Cena Punk did in 2011. The best shoot promo I think that has ever happened by a wrestler. Um, it made you feel he made it. If it wasn't work, he made it seem real. It's like no one expected it. I mean, it was on one of the worst Raws of the year. CM Punk comes out at the end of the tables match, tosses Cena in the match because R-Truth. Um, it shoots, talks about John Laurinaitis. No one never ever got mentioned. Um, it talks about Triple H, Stephanie, Vince. It mentions New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor. Mentions Colt Cabana. Yeah. Well, that is it for my favorite moments of Raw. If you guys have any favorite moments, comment down below. Like, subscribe.